Hello again, and thank you for joining me today. I'm always so glad that you're here. I decided that for today, we're going to do all floor moves. We're not going to do any standing. We don't need any equipment except for a mat. I do recommend wearing no shoes. You can still wear socks if you want to, as long as you're not going to slip in them. Because I know if I wear socks and I'm doing anything where I have to do plantar flexion, my socks will just come straight off. So that's why I go barefoot for Pilates. The reason also for going barefoot in Pilates is proprioceptive, so you can really feel the floor and feel the space around you. It's also so that you have full range of motion in your ankle, because we do a lot of dorsiflexion and plantar flexion, and we really need to have that ankle all the way opened. So you can use shoes if you want to, but I don't really recommend it. Today's workout is going to be, I'm not actually sure how many exercises. I made a list, but I didn't count them. I'm hoping to keep it around maybe 50 minutes. We'll see how it goes. But we're going to start with some not easier, but less challenging moves so that we can kind of warm ourselves up. And then we're going to move into some more challenging moves. We are doing all Pilates exercises today, but we're doing modifications. One of the great things about Pilates is there are so many variations on every exercise. And especially two that I can think of that we're doing today are extremely advanced. And really, Pilates superheroes can do them, but I'm not a Pilates superhero. So I'm modifying with you guys because I'm still kind of trying to get there a little bit myself. Maybe we'll get there at the same time. That's what she said. I'm so sorry. Okay, so why don't we get started? Get your mat ready and come down to the floor. And just slowly put your hands behind your thighs and slowly come down one vertebrae at a time. And once you're here, let's just feel the floor underneath us. Make sure that your back isn't arched. Just comfortably laying your arms on the floor beside you. And we'll just take a couple of deep breaths here to kind of just warm ourselves up. So take a deep breath in. All the way up to the top, fill up all the way. And then let it out. Feel your diaphragm releasing. And let's do that again. All the way up to the top. And hold it and release. You should really ground your back into the floor. Your feet should be flat on the floor. So from here, we're going to start with roll-ups, which I'm sure you remember because we did them before. Arms above your head, shoulders not flexed, legs out, back not arched. And here we're going to come up and you feel your core starting to engage. And if you get kind of stuck here, you can put your hands behind your thighs and pull yourself all the way up. And you want to come to a straight back and then forward to your toes, back up, and then back down. And again, here, if you're having a little trouble lowering and you feel like you're just slamming to the floor, hands under the thighs, and you can bend your knees a little bit and just support yourself as you come all the way down. So we're going to do a few of those. I guess let's say 5. Well, no, 5 is too little. Let's do 10. We'll do 10 roll-ups, okay? And go. 2. Now, of course, go at your own pace here, but you got to sort of stay with me because we're not using a timer today. Keep breathing. And we've got 5 to go now. And 2 more. And last one. Okay, good job. Fix my paints. All right, excuse me. Okay, so roll back down. And now we're gonna do what's called a neck pull, which is similar to the roll up. You still want your feet straight down. They don't have to be together, but you do want to have plantar flexion here, which means your toes pointed up to the ceiling. But this time, we're gonna put our hands behind our head here gently, and you want your elbows out. Your elbows should stay out at 9 and 3 o'clock here through the whole thing, except when you come up. So here you want to engage your core, right? Back should be flat against the floor. Make sure your pelvis is tucked under. As I always say, you probably are hearing that in your dreams by now. So you start to come up, and then here I get stuck here myself, and then bend your knees a little bit, hands under your thighs, come up till you feel comfortable, hands back behind the head, and go all the way up and bend as far as you can. This shouldn't hurt. Breathe in and then back down. And again here, when you get to that point where you feel a little bit unstable, hands under the thighs until you feel comfortable again, and then hands back behind the head. So let's do, let's do 8 of those, okay? So, and go. Now here, up, right up, over, and back up to a flat back, and then 1 vertebrae at a time. And you notice I'm pulling my elbows in because I'm using my shoulders a little bit to help me there. And that's okay. You don't want to lean on that too much. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to make sure that you guys have that information. Okay, so number 2. This will be number 4. Number 5. Three more. One more. And back down. Now again, I was feeling a little tension in my back, which was why towards the end there I used my thighs for support. And you might find the same thing. You never want to feel strain on your back. So if you're starting to feel that, I would say just support yourself a little bit. It's always better to play it safe, right? We don't want to get injured. Okay, so let's see what's next on our list. Okay, so now I'm sure you guys remember when we did rolling like a ball. We did it this way last time, right? If you remember. This time we're gonna go for the one where you hold your ankles, which is the official rolling like a ball in Pilates. So here, of course, you want to have a flat back, good posture, core engaged, pelvis tucked under. So one hand on the front of each ankle, and then when you feel comfortable, you want to hollow out your abs a little bit here, and then lift your feet up off the floor just like an inch or 2 here. You want your heels tucked in close to you, as close to your buttocks as you can get them. And then from here, you want your shoulders down, right? And you should be able to balance here because your core is engaged. And then we go back and back up. And when you get up to the top, your feet should not touch the floor. They should stay hovering above the floor like this because your core is engaged, right? Okay, so let's do a few of those. I don't know how many. You should be curving along your spine here. There shouldn't be any hard lands at all. You shouldn't have your neck on the floor either, just to your shoulders and back up. I like this move because it's kind of like when you were a kid, you know, just playing. It's the kind of thing that babies do. And it's a great spinal massage. Whoop. And another thing is you should always take your time to balance. Don't just rush back into it. If you need to stay here for a second because your feet drop or whatever it is, do that and adjust. So let's do 5 more. And 1 more. Good job. Okay. Gotta slide back a little bit here. And let's see what's on my list. Oh, scissors is next. Okay. Well, so let's take a second. Now I'm sure that you guys remember that we did single leg kicks, I think 2 workouts ago. So now scissors are sort of similar, but in scissors, your legs are extended. Pushed my pants up when I was doing the rolling like a ball. So instead of your knees being bent, you want both legs extended. And you can just hold, not right behind your knee, but kind of just cradle the top of your calf here. And you pull that leg in, and then the other, and you just go back and forth like that. In Pilates, as I've mentioned before, there is specific patterns of breathing. So I think I did mention before the double in and the double out. I don't really do that right now because I have breathing issues right now. So that's difficult for me. However, it wouldn't be bad for you to try it if you want to. So what that would be is and you can also, when you breathe in, you can pulse with your breath, same in and out like that. So it's up to you. So, all right, you ready? Core engaged, leg goes up and go. You want your lower abs to really be engaged here. And don't pull your leg so far that it hurts, of course. You know, if you can only bring it up to here, that's okay. Like that. But you eventually want to get here. I mean, I've seen Pilates people pull their shin to their nose. I can't do that. All right, let's do 3 more each side. One more each side. And good. Okay. Well, I'm getting a little hot here. Okay, so next is shoulder bridge. So for shoulder bridge, so this is going to be shoulder bridge with up and down kicks, alternating legs. So let me show you what I mean. So a shoulder bridge is this. And of course, your pelvis is tucked under, and you don't want to overextend your lumbar spine here. So make sure that you have like a straight angle here. And then the leg comes up and goes down and up and down, up one more time, and then we can lower with this one and release for a moment, and then we'll go back up and do it again. Okay, so now you want to make sure that your core is fully engaged throughout this move. Of course, you don't want to be arching your back, and you don't want to be using your back for support. You mostly want to just be relying, well, not your lower back anyway, you want to be relying on your core muscles. So also, when you're here, your palms should be facing down, and your shoulders should not be flexed. However, when you're up like this all the way, you might find that kind of pressing your arms into the mat supports you a little bit better. And that's completely fine. So we'll alternate back and forth with legs, and I don't know, we'll do however many feels good. How about that? That's what she said. Okay, so, yeah, feet should be about hip width apart here. Okay, so let's go. Let's do it. And up, you're totally on your shoulder blades here, and you want to flex your foot when you're coming down, and then point when you're going back up. Okay, so one more, two more. One more, and then with this one, come back down, and you can rest your foot for a moment, and then back up. 2 and 3, and down and back up. And back up. 2 and 3, and down, and we'll do one more on this side. Up. You don't want any wobble here at all. Okay, and down, and place that foot on the floor. And I'm crawling up my mat here. If you are also, you can adjust yourself. Okay, so now the other side. And up. 2 and 3, and down. Back up. And down. And again. Keep breathing. And down. And one more. 1, 2, and 3, and foot back on the floor. Okay. So, okay, yeah, so now we're going to do abductions on each side. I don't mean we're going to kidnap anybody. I mean, we're going to do hip abductions. So, okay, so what we're going to do here is you want to be on your side like this, and if you have a hard floor and you need like a little cushion, you could just put a little towel here. We are going to do a couple of side moves here. It might be, it's more than a couple. So, here you can either lean on your hand, which I prefer, like this, or you can just place your ear on your upper arm with your arm out like that. It's up to you. Whichever is more comfortable. This is a little bit more challenging because it isolates your lower body so much. So, and then both feet should be flexed like this. And you don't want to lock your knees though. And then this one, you want to make sure that your toes are pointed straight ahead. And we're going to come up just to like here, and back down, and back up, and back down. And then we're also going to hold for a moment here, I should add, and then back down. And then when we get to the end of however many repetitions we're doing, we're going to pulse for, I don't know, 15 seconds. Okay, so get into position. You want to be straight here. You could also bend this leg if that's more comfortable for you. But this is the less modified version. So leg goes up, make sure your toes are pointed ahead and back down and back up, hold for a moment and back down. And here you could use a strap if you want to. You could use a band, excuse me, not a strap, a band to provide some resistance. You could use an ankle weight. Okay, yeah, those are feeling very mild. So let's go up and we're going to pulse. And down. And let's go back up and pulse. And down. And let's do that one more time, up and pulse. And down. Is your thigh burning? I hope so. Sorry, I was looking at my, okay, yeah, so now let's do clam. So clam, you want to bend your knees here, and it's like digging into my hip a little bit, speaking of that. And you want your feet right on top of one another like this, and the leg comes up, and you really want to squeeze like in your thigh and your glute over here, and this leg should stay totally still, totally stable on the floor, and back down, your knees come together, and then again, and you just repeat like that. So I don't know, we'll do that until we're burning, man. Let's go. Breathe. You can inhale here, exhale here. When you squeeze and squeeze, and you want to get your knee up as high as you can there. Really squeeze. Is it burning? Let's do 5 more. I'm not trying to torture you guys. I'm just trying to challenge you. That's all. Okay, 2 more. 1 more. Okay, now let's let that thigh rest for a moment. Let me see what we had next there. Oh, we have side bridge. Oh, okay. All right, so we're really, as you can see, we're focusing on one side at a time here. So, oh, I need to pull my sleeves up for this one. So, side bridge. There are many variations. So just like with plank, you want to have your elbow on the mat like this, under your shoulder. You can make a fist, you can put your palm down, whatever's comfortable. I think I close my fist because it probably helps me to stabilize a little bit more, but you of course don't want to overcompensate. You just want to make sure that you're not falling, right? And then here, I'm pretty sure we've done side planks before, so I think you are somewhat familiar. You want, well, if you want to do it with your legs out, you want your feet stacked on top of one another for this one. But you can also bend one leg and really use that as your anchor more. Whatever feels comfortable to you, but I do want you, of course, to always challenge yourself. So if that feels too easy, try extending your legs and see. Okay, so the move is we come up like this, knee, and as you can see, you need to really have balance there. It's challenging. If you use with your leg bent, it looks more like this. And it's slightly easier. Oh, my necklace is like all entangled with the microphone. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're gonna do the left side first. Now, it's very important that your core is fully engaged this whole exercise. Don't lean on your lower back for strength there. You want to be using your core muscles along your spine and in your abdominal muscles. So, I don't know, 10 to 12 maybe repetitions. So let's go. And you can try to do it this way first and then switch to bending your leg if you want to. And I inhale here and I exhale on the knee. Make sure you breathe here. Let's do 3 more. One more. And down. Okay, so now that we've done that, we are going to do all of those exercises on the other side. So go over to your other side. And right, we started with the hip abduction, so let's do those. Okay, so legs straight out, and you can be like this or like this. And this is really just for balance, but you can also put it here or here. It's up to you. Toes pointed ahead, and you want both feet flexed, pelvis tucked under, core engaged, right? Okay, and up and down. This is really just a primer. 3, hold for a moment, back down. Make sure your pelvis is still tucked under, down, up, and now pulse. And down, back up, pulse. And back down. And let's do that one more time. Hold, 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 and down. Good job. That's pretty tough, huh? Okay. Clam, right? Okay, so same, resting on your hand, and again, knees bent. And you want your feet together, stacked on top of each other. Knees stacked on top of each other, and open. And down, and really squeeze here. Pelvis tucked under. And if you notice, I'm holding at the top here. I don't remember how many we did on the other side. I think we're up to 8 now. Let's do 5 more. You're only moving your leg here. Nothing else should be moving. Core is totally engaged. I think that's 3. 4. And 1 more. Good job on that. Are your thighs burning, man? I know mine are. Okay, now the side bridge thing again. So same thing. This is my preferred variation, but you can, of course, like I said, bend your leg if it's easier for you. Okay, so get into position and go. Keep breathing. What was that, 5? I think that was 5. 5 more. And 2 more. One more. And down. Good job. Okay. Okay, so now is the fire hydrant. So this is on all fours. And you want your hands under your shoulders, neutral back, knees under your hips. Actually, no, not knees under, I'm sorry. You want your feet closer to your knees closer together for this one, because your hip is going to be a hinge here. Fire hydrant is exactly what it sounds like a male dog peeing on a fire hydrant. So what does he do? He lifts his leg, right? So here, ideally, you're not going to be compensating by leaning, but you might be just a little bit because you're still building your core up. But eventually, you want to be super stable and not doing that at all. And you want your hip, like I said, to act like a hinge. And that's the only movement that you have here, is just the knee coming up and going back down. Up, like the clam. It's like the clam, but on all fours instead. So, I think we'll do one side at a time. So get into position, and let's say we'll do 15 on each side, okay? So I'm gonna count, but if I lose count, you can also be counting so that you know how many you've done. Okay, so go. And like I said, it's just a hinge. Knee goes up and comes back down. Keep breathing. Okay, 5 more. Two more. And last one. Good job. Let's take a break for a moment. Let your shoulders get a break. I'm really pounding your thighs today, you guys. You're welcome. Yeah, and that's what she said also. Okay. Ready to do the other side? 15 again, okay? And go. Keep breathing. Is your pelvic tucked under still? Pelvis, excuse me. I'm leaning a little bit. Okay, 5 more. Two more. And last one. Ugh, oh my God. That was a lot, wasn't it? Okay, so let's take a quick water break because our next 2 moves are a little bit more challenging. Okay, so for our next move, we are going to do teasers, which is one of the more advanced Pilates moves. A teaser is you start on the floor. Actually, you start on the floor with your heels down, arms above your head. Your arms like swoop around like this, and your feet come up, and you're supposed to be able to pull your torso up to a V shape with your feet. So I'm sure you can imagine that you really have to have a perfectly strong core to do that. But what we're going to do is we're going to use bent knees, which is a modification. So start on the floor like this with your knees bent. And first, to start, you can have your knees kind of more pulled in like this, just for support. And you want to have your knees together here also. So then make sure of course, that your back is not arched. You want your lower back grounded into the floor here. So you start to come up, and here, see, what we're going to do is use the weight of our legs to help pull us up. So as you start to come up, you want your legs to come to tabletop, which means you have a 90-degree angle here and here, as close to that as you can without looking in a mirror anyway. And then you're going to pull your legs forward and, I'm not doing it well, and pull yourself up to this position, which is like rolling like a ball. And we're going to stay here, knees together, like I said. Now, and then, so when you get here, make sure that you're stable. And, if you need to take a few seconds to do that, just stay here like this with your hands behind your thighs. And then I want you to challenge yourself. Keep your legs in tabletop. Slowly let go, arms up and back down, and then back behind. And you can bend your legs and roll down. And then we'll repeat that. So let me show you that again. So we start here. As we come up, you can use a little momentum there. Let me show you that again. You can use a little momentum here by just kind of pulling your legs forward a little faster, just like that. And then stabilize your core. And you want your legs in tabletop. Make sure that you're stable. Let go, arms up, back down, behind your legs, and back down. Whew. So you got that? Ideally, you wouldn't just collapse backward, and I shouldn't be showing it to you that way, but here, let me show you again without that. So then up, tabletop, arms above, back behind, and then slowly roll back one vertebrae at a time and bend your knees back up. Okay? So get into position, and I don't know how many. Maybe we'll do 8. Does that sound good? I think 8 sounds good. This is a tough one. Okay, let's go. And up, legs and tabletop. Make sure that you're sturdy here. Arms up for just a moment, back down behind your thighs, and then slowly roll back one vertebrae at a time, and back down. And again. Also, I notice I'm flexing my shoulders. Are you also doing that? Don't do that. Neither one of us should do that. And you might find it easier to roll back slowly, one vertebrae at a time, if you keep your feet out a little bit for counterbalance. I think that was 4. How you doing? You getting through it? If you feel any strain in your lower back, just take a break. How about 2 more after this? One more. Good job. That's a pretty tough one, and it's one that you should practice, especially if you like it, especially if you find it fun like I do. Okay, so as I said, the next one is a little bit challenging. Let me just fix my hair. Okay. Okay, yeah. So, okay, this is a kneeling swing. So, get on your knees. That's what she said. And you want to have your core fully engaged here. I'd like to see myself in the mirror here so I can be sure I'm doing it correctly. Okay, so here you want to have your core engaged. This leg can just sort of be resting. This knee is down, and only when this leg is out, you can put your hand down, and your fingers can be facing that way. But here you want to have like a rectangle here. And you want to keep that, and you also don't want to sink into your hip here. Make sure you're keeping your core engaged. And then what we're going to do from here, a hand on hip, or you can do like this, but I think because we're focusing on so many elements at once right now anyway, let's just do hand on hip. So when you get here, make sure you've got your left glute totally engaged. You want your lower abs engaged, and you want to make sure that you're not sinking at all, right? You want to keep everything isometrically engaged here. So, and you have your foot resting out, and then we're going to bring that up, and we're going to hold for a moment, put it back down. Now make sure your core is still engaged here, and then up again, hold and down. Whoops, I'm almost losing my balance. Is my leg still straight? Is your leg still straight? Up again, hold for a moment and down. You might really feel your quad burning a little bit here, and that's a good thing. Up again, hold and down. One last time, up, hold, and down. Now we're going to switch to the other side and do that again. And then we're going to go back to the other side again and do another move like that. So get into position here. Now, I made the mistake of trying to put my hand down before my leg went out, and that's not good for your back. So don't do that. So you want your leg really to go out first. Make sure that this thigh is facing straight forward and is straight down. And then this hand goes down. And here, like I said, you want to have that rectangle going here. You want to make sure that you're not sinking into your hip at all. Okay, and then the leg comes up. Hold for a moment and back down. Up and down. Don't sink into your hip here. Down. I think my hand needs to go out a little bit more. Up. Down. Yeah, this is kind of a new move for me. Last one. That's what she said. And back down. Okay. So now we're going to do that same position, but this time we're going to lift our leg up and then we're going to swing it forward, not back, because I don't have enough space. If you have enough space, swing your leg back too, but it is a challenge. You have to make sure that you're not hurting your lower back there at all. So if that's challenging, you don't have to do it. So, yeah. No, we have to. I'm confused. Okay, so right, back over here. Okay, so leg goes out and then hand down. Make sure that your thigh is facing straight ahead. Don't sink into your hip. Okay, leg up, and we're going to swing forward and back. Forward and back. And one more, forward and back and down again. Rest for a moment. I think I turned my thigh a little bit. Ready to do that again? Up, swing forward and back, forward and back, and one more, whoops, and back and down. And I think we'll leave it there for now because your thighs are going to be hurting tomorrow from all these abductions that we're doing. Okay, leg out. Make sure your thigh is facing forward again. Hand down. Make sure you got the rectangle there. Core fully engaged. Leg comes up and forward and back. Forward and back. And one more. And back and down. And then let's do that again. Up, forward, back, forward, and back. And last time, back and down. Good job. And I only did a few of those reps because it's very challenging and I want to give you guys like a chance to sort of adjust to that as kind of an acquired taste. So those are the two most difficult exercises we're going to do today. Now, just check my list here. Now we're going to do heel clicks and swimming, which I'm sure you remember because we've done that before. So down on your belly. Okay, and so for a moment, rest your forehead on your arms just like this, because I just want to make sure that we have our form here. Engage your core, pelvis tucked under, right? Okay, and then forehead on the floor. Reach your hands out and come up. And then you want to lift up your back as well, not your back, your legs. And then we're going to click our heels together. This is a small movement. You should feel it all in your inner thighs. And down, rest for a moment. We're going to come up and do that again. Okay, and up again. Click your heels. And down. Okay. Let's come to child's pose for a moment. Okay, let's get back to it. Now we're going to do swimming. Do you remember swimming? Reach your arms out, and again, core engaged, and then you're swimming. Should feel this mostly in your glutes. And down. And we'll do that again. And up. And down. Good job. Okay. So guess what? Now we've only got a couple of stretches. We're going to do the mermaid stretch. And then child's pose and cobra. And then we're going to finish on our backs. And that's obviously what she said. Okay, so sit like this with your knees collapsed that way, like this. Make sure that you're not crooked. You want your buttocks to both be on the floor. And then what you're going to do is, again, I need to pull my sleeves up. You want to come down on your elbow. You probably have seen this stretch before, I imagine. And then arm comes over, and then you kind of do a counter stretch the other way, just like that. But you don't want to go too far that way. You're kind of just counterbalancing from the stretch. So, and we'll just repeat that a few times. So elbow down, and you want your elbow under your shoulder. This is kind of an active stretch. I mean, it's not kind of an active stretch, it's an active stretch. You should really feel this in your hips and your waist, your obliques. Let's do that a couple more times on this side. One more. Go stretch, 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 and back up. And again, if it hurts anywhere, if you feel it in your lower back at all, you should be making sure that your core is engaged. You know, and if it's uncomfortable, you don't have to do the stretch. You could just do child's pose or whatever. I wish that my necklace would stop hitting the mic. Okay, so now put your legs the other way. It's just a random comment. Okay, and I find that my right hip is often tighter than my left. So if you, and also I have arthritis in my knee. So if you have the same thing, you can pull your foot out a little bit more like this, just to open it up. You might not be able to get it all the way down. I never can. And yes, I do hip stretches. Okay, anyway, so elbow down, arm goes over, back up, counter stretch. Keep breathing. One more. Stretch and up and counter stretch, and good job. Okay, now let's do Cobra, because our core, of course, got used a lot today. So down on your belly, and you want your hands under your shoulders here. Come up, and your elbows should still be bent here. Don't hyperextend into your lower back here. You just want to feel a stretch down your abdominal muscles. And back down. And back up. Keep breathing. Keep your glutes engaged here. Lower abs. And last time. Shoulders down. And back down. Okay. Let's just go back into child's pose again. You know, now one of the things, I don't know if I ever said, that one of the things that's great about Pilates is that you don't really have to stretch when you're done, because Pilates is about flexion and stretching. You tense the muscle and then you stretch it. So you stretch actively, really. So if you want to do downward dog on your way up, that's fine. We're going to finish today on our backs. So roll back down on your mat. Pull your knees in. Massage your spine a little bit. And we're just going to stretch our hamstrings. I just said we don't need to stretch, but I want to make sure that you guys get your full out of these workouts. So let's stretch our hamstrings. pull it in and release. Breathe into the muscle. And you can lift up, hold for a moment, and send it back down. Get the other one, and we'll repeat that on the other side. And down. Now just relax. Let your feet fall to the sides. Palms facing up. Eyes closed. And I guess that's it for today, you guys. So relax for a moment and then congratulate yourself for doing yet another workout. Good job. And I'll see you guys next time.